Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for refusing to give my mom the only gift she wanted for Christmas? A little backstory: my sister has resented my existence pretty much since I was born. When I got pregnant with my oldest daughter, my sister became very controlling. She would demand to be at every OB appointment and tried to demand we let her in the delivery room when only one person was allowed in beside me. Every first for my oldest had to involve my sister because she's never had a kid before. This is my first kid too, you know. My sister became obsessed with my oldest to the point I believe she was borderline grooming her to believe that SHE was the mom and not me. My family and I relocated a couple months ago halfway across the country. This decision came because my sister treated to call CPS on me for not allowing her to take my oldest over the entire summer break. She told me she'd have me lose custody of both kids. The reason I wouldn't let her take my oldest for summer was because she had literally just threatened to bring her pistol to my mom's house and put a bullet in my fiancé's head. We moved a few months back to get away from that toxicity. I figured this was the best option for us and decided to still keep somewhat a relationship with my sister. We would video chat almost daily. On my oldest's 5th birthday, my sister made a call to CPS. She claimed my fiancé and I were sexually abusing my 5-year-old and we were physically neglecting both children. She sent in a photo of my 2-year-old with chocolate ice cream on her face because she'd literally just finished the ice cream. My sister saw her eating it, so she knew it was fresh, yet still took a screenshot and used that as evidence that I'm neglecting my kids because they're always dirty. The sexual abuse claim came because my 5-year-old had a diaper rash and it was bothering her, so she said my butt hurts. Daughter is autistic and has epilepsy. We're working on potty training still. I know it was my sister who reported us because she bragged about it. And I know for sure this report was her being mad that we moved away. She wanted to get back at me for taking her kids away from her. I decided it was best to go fully no contact with my sister. She tried to hurt my kids and she hurt myself and fiancé pretty badly. To me, what she did was unforgivable. Today, with it being Christmas, I called my mom on Messenger so the kids could show her what they got and tell her Merry Christmas. The conversation went pretty well until the end, when she went into another room and asked me if I could do her a favor. I said sure, what's up, and she goes, have the kids talk to sister. It's Christmas. I told her no. I will not have that. She tried to hurt my kids and I don't want them around someone who would do that. My mom started crying and going on about how it's Christmas and it'd just be for a couple minutes, then we can go back to no contact. I told her that it was my daughter's birthday when she decided to try and ruin her life. My mom started crying and said she wanted to get off the phone, so we hang up. Last time my kids saw my sister since going no contact, they kept asking for 2 weeks about talking to her. This wouldn't be a one-time thing. This would be them begging and crying to see my sister and them not understanding why they can't. Was I being the bad person here? This was the only thing my mom asked for Christmas this year. What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for not wanting my wife and mother-in-law to keep reminding me to keep my voice down before every family gathering? I, 45M, don't have living parents, so all family gatherings are with my wife's 36F family. Early on, I often felt like an outsider at these events. Her father made it clear he didn't think I was good enough for his daughter, and her mother and I had a strained relationship due to our differing religious beliefs. I'm an atheist, she's a devoted Christian. This dynamic left me mostly quiet and withdrawn during gatherings for years. Then, a few years ago, something shifted. At a Thanksgiving dinner, I finally felt like part of the family. I'd had 2 to 3 glasses of wine, loosened up, and participated, laughing, joking, and engaging with everyone. For the first time, I left feeling like I belonged. But that feeling didn't last. On the way to Christmas dinner that same year, my wife gave me a talk in the car about keeping my voice down, citing her father's migraines. She said I'd been too loud at Thanksgiving. While I know I can get enthusiastic and my volume rises when I'm excited, her comment caught me off guard and deflated me. Then, while we were still on the road, I got a text from my mother-in-law with the same message: "Please be quieter this time." It felt like they teamed up to police my behavior. To be fair, they weren't entirely wrong. I can be loud when I'm excited, but this was the second time in 10 minutes I was being told to tone it down. Instead of feeling welcome, I felt rejected and embarrassed. It shattered the enthusiasm I'd finally found with her family, and sure enough, I was sullen and withdrawn that Christmas. I felt like the outsider all over again. Since then, this has become a pattern. Before every gathering, whether at their house, a restaurant, even loud ones, or other events, I get reminders from both my wife and mother-in-law to keep my voice down. And every time, it crushes my desire to participate. It's hard not to see it as them prioritizing her father's comfort over my feeling of inclusion. The constant reminders make me feel like I'm an embarrassment to them. I know I'm taking this personally, but it's hard not to. I don't need the reminders anymore. I'm well aware of the issue by now, but their repeated warnings only deepen the wedge I feel between me and the family. This morning, my wife reminded me again to keep it down at tonight's Christmas dinner. I'm already dreading the text I expect to get from my mother-in-law later today. I can't help but feel resentful, like they've conditioned me to avoid engaging entirely. So, am I the bad person? Am I being too sensitive about a legitimate health concern for my father-in-law, or are they overstepping by handling this in a way that guarantees I'll never feel fully comfortable around them again? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section, and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for telling husband my son will go to best school and his kids' education is his responsibility? I am 32, with a 5-year-old son, and next April, he will enter first standard. He is currently in preschool nearby, and next year, I plan to send him to best private school in area. Its annual tuition is around $20,000, not America. I studied there. My husband studied there. We met there. I lost my husband when my son was 3 months old due to cancer. I work for my parents' business, and from husband I got life insurance, savings, and the house went to my son and me. I invested most in my son's name and some for myself. I met my current husband 38, 3 back years. He has a 6-year-old son and 10-year-old daughter. We got married in 2023. His children go to decent school too. His ex-wife and him share the funds. We moved to his house. So my husband said send either his kids to same school as my son or my son to theirs. I told him my son's education can't be compromised. And his children's education is his and his ex-wife's responsibility. We share family budget, clothes, travel, and gifts expense. But not education and children's savings, which was made clear from day one. He says he doesn't want his children to feel second-class citizen to my son who will go to most expensive school. I told him he and his ex-wife can compromise their savings and pay for their children. Frankly, the kids in my stepchildren's school come from terrible backgrounds, and I don't want my son to mingle with crowd there. Even if it is private school, it has drug-going crowd. Spoiled kids with terrible families. I can't afford another $40,000 for stepchildren education, and frankly their education is their parents' responsibility, and it was made clear even before wedding. He says I am being elitist, but as mother my son's education comes first. The school where I am going to send my son throws such kids out, and most kids come from prestigious families with great network. I want him to become successful like his father. And our marriage has hit a rock. He says his kids will resent my son. But I told him, even before marriage, I told him that I will send my son to this school only. He said he thought he would change my mind. My husband is sleeping in other room and I am missing him. But my child comes first. Edit. I know private schools have such issues too. But they tackle it better here, and it's better to take less risk than sending my son to wolves. LOL. People saying I should pay rent to my husband in his fully owned house. When I asked him to shift to my house, and it was his decision that I should shift with him. I own my house, only child of my parents, on deed as well, and my parents want us to be multi-generational house. Which is common. I am saving nothing on rent. It was mutual decision to shift to his house. By the way, foreign vacation I paid for costs more than the rent he would have earned. I didn't know I have to pay rent to my own husband. Also, to add, my late husband's house is 50-50 to me and my son. I can't sell it or anything unless my son decides it in adulthood. So we had both homes to live. To clarify to people who are saying I am lying in comments, he didn't want to shift. Then he should pay vacation money. I assure you, he won't be happy. If I have to pay him rent, am I the bad person? You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.